By the end of this video, you're going to see that being jacked is important, but not as important as you might think. And be sure to stay till the end because I'm going to break down exactly what Chris Hemsworth did to get into serious shape. Okay, so here you are. Actually, that's me. But you get the point. You're a 20-something dude who knows a little bit about fitness. And you think, wow, I should probably get into shape. But you don't really want to. You're not super motivated. You don't really even know where to start. You worked out in high school maybe, but you don't really have any goals right now. So you go ahead, say forget that, you sit down on your couch and you turn on a movie. Of course you turn on Thor because he is the best Marvel superhero of all time. Don't at me. But then it happens. Chris Hemsworth appears on the screen for the first time shirtless. Your jaw drops, but not as much as the girl's jaw sitting next to you. Your jaw drops differently than hers. Your jaw drops because you're jealous. It's okay to admit it. You're jealous. This is a safe place and you're jealous of how jacked this guy really is. Then you go back and you realize that he was even more jacked in Thor 1. Because let's be honest, you're watching Thor Ragnarok. I know you are. And you start to think to yourself, I want to be that jacked. I want to be big and bulky, but also lean and cut like Chris Hemsworth. But why? Why do we, as young men, want to look like the Greek god Thor? That's what we're going to try to answer today, and I think it's a two-part answer. And the first one is pride. We don't like to lose any competition, and that means even competitions that we make up, even hypothetical competitions that we have with other people. We want to be the biggest, baddest, most bulky, jacked person in our friend groups, in our families, in any group of people that we are in our workplace. We want to be the most jacked person in that group. But wait a second, I'm a little worried that most of you guys didn't understand when I flashed Michael Jordan on the screen just a second ago. Let me explain real quick. Michael Jordan used to make up hypothetical competitions with people. Not even hypothetical competitions, but even hypothetical things that people said about him to infuriate him for the next game. That is real competitiveness, and I would say that each of us have a little bit of that in us where we want to compete with other people. And when you get jealous of somebody who's a little bit bigger than you, it's because you want to be as big as them. You want to be as jacked as them because you think that it's going to earn you some type of respect with the people around you. So when Chris Hemsworth appears on the screen looking all jacked and your jaw drops and the girl sitting next to you's jaw's dropped, you make up some hypothetical competition with him that you want to be more jacked than he is. And let's be real, I think Chris Hemsworth is beating us on that. Pride is a dangerous game. Pride is thinking of yourself higher or more than other people. And it leads to all kinds of death. It's no way to live and it's no way to pursue your fitness goals. Honestly, pride is the quickest way for you to become unhappy in fitness. Like Joey when him and Chandler aren't living together anymore. But you may be sitting there like, wait, Connor, but if I get jacked, I'll be happy. Wrong. Being jacked isn't going to make you happy because there will always be somebody that's bigger than you, and it will probably be Chris Hemsworth. The second reason why I think we want to look like Chris Hemsworth is, well, girls. Whether it's trying to get a girl or keep a girl, we think that looking like Chris Hemsworth is going to help us do that. Now, thinking about impressing girls or wooing girls is in our nature. And for most of us, I mean, there's always a Flash Thompson exception, it keeps us from doing really mean things to other people, like being a jerk to somebody else because we don't want the girl that we want to date not want to date us because we're jerks. When it comes to fitness, girls talk a big game because being jacked is way down their list of priorities for future husbands. Notice I said husband right there because there are some girls that want to just find the good-looking jacked guy and date him for a few months. But those aren't the girls that you really want to date. I'm looking at you like a mother would because you shouldn't want to date those girls. The girls that you will get just because you are jacked are not the girls you really want to spend a whole lot of time with. I mean, how many more stories do you need to hear of guys dating random girls and it leaving them empty on the inside, with no relationship and no growth to show for it? I know that got really dark for a second, but this is an important thing for me because I don't think training for girls is very sustainable. It's not something that Chris Hemsworth followed at all, and it's not something that you should follow. Okay. I want you to see that being jacked or training to be jacked is not a bad thing. But working out for pride or for girls, those are bad things. You don't want to do those because they aren't sustainable. Being jacked is a great goal to have if done for the right reasons. And honestly, Chris Hemsworth is a great example to follow in this. He trains for a lot of reasons, but two of the reasons are, one, for his job. I mean, obviously he's training for a movie role. That's part of his job. But two, he's training for his health. I mean, for crying out loud, he literally developed a fitness app to help other people get into shape. So he has got a great outlook on this because he's not only training to be in these huge movies, but he's also training for his health. He realizes that fitness is an integral part of his overall health. And that's what you need to see. Health needs to be number one in your book. And that's hard as a 20-something-year-old to think that way because we're young, maybe we're quite healthy already, but when you're training, health needs to be number one in your goals list. And I'm not just talking about physical health, but fitness really helps with your mental health as well. Building muscle is great. It's a great goal. I mean, shoot, I have that goal right now, but if done for the wrong reasons, it's just going to leave you empty inside. I used to train for other people. I used to even train for you guys. I wanted to get bigger. I wanted to get stronger so that you guys would respect me as a trainer. And anytime I slipped into that mindset, it just left me feeling empty. I mean, even when I put on 15 pounds, I was still getting comments about how skinny I was. And so it wasn't a sustainable thing because it just left me empty. I was training for pride. I was wanting you to respect me. And so I wanted you to see me as jacked or as buff or strong. And so it just left me empty inside. Working out for someone else is just a losing scenario. Train for your goals and your health. I mean, shoot, I want you to be jacked, and partly because I want to get jacked too, but training for someone else is just not going to help you. It makes the journey way more satisfying if you're training for your goals and your health. All right, now let's talk about how Chris Hemsworth actually built muscle for Thor. First, here's a quote from his trainer on the first few Thor films. He says this: "People see Chris and they think he was on steroids, but he didn't touch a single substance," Garver says. "It was just red meat, heavy weights, and some protein powder. He crushed every single workout. He simply decided to look like Thor." Fitness is always a two-part game, and the two parts are nutrition and your workout routine. So let's start with nutrition first. Chris Hemsworth was trying to put on muscle, so he was in a calorie surplus, and that surplus looked like about 3,500 calories a day. Now, he would probably go a little bit above that as well, either to 4,000 or 4,500 calories, but he wanted to be in a surplus so that he was putting on muscle. Obviously, you saw in that quote that protein was a huge part of his diet, and as it should be for you if you're trying to build muscle. The typical saying in nutrition is to get about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So let's say you weigh 185 pounds right now, you want to eat about 185 grams of protein per day. Now let's talk about his workout routine. For the first film, he was doing more of a bodybuilding style of workouts. He was training one muscle group and he was trying to add more weight to the bar and build strength. That's called progressive overload. So meaning that you're gradually adding more weight to the bar and that's helping you build muscle. So for squats, let's say he just started at like 215 on squats. gradually he would try to increase that to 225 and then 235. You know, he would gradually try to step that up with his nutrition also being on point. Building strength in the gym and eating in a calorie surplus is a winning formula for building muscle. And it's the formula that Chris Hemsworth did for Thor. Now this has changed a little bit. Chris Hemsworth does a lot more body weight movements or circuit training, but that's because he's built a very good foundation for fitness. I would encourage you, if you're just starting out, to start with some fundamentals. Start with compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, bench press, shoulder press, and even pull-ups. If you don't have any machines, start with the body weight exercise of those. You know, pull-ups already is a body weight exercise, but you can start with push-ups or air squats or single leg good mornings. This is going to help you build muscle and build strength. And if you do that and you eat right, you'll be on your way to building muscle like Thor. Guys, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.